Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on our CBS7 First Alert digital news desk, along with our news app and all your connected television. So glad to be here with you, streaming live with us on this Thursday, day 4 of our mental health awareness series here on CBS7. Such an important topic. May, as you know, is Mental Health Awareness Month. We've been hitting different topics each and every day this week, from education to your workplace to law enforcement, first responders, and now today we're talking about mental health first aid. And, you know, this topic was brought to light for me by Chandra Wigginton with the Family Resiliency Center of the Permian Basin. Such an important topic, Chandra. I'm glad you brought it to my attention. Something that a lot of people don't know about. So can you give us a summary, if you will? And we also have an expert talking about this as well. But what is mental health first aid?
So mental health first aid is a full-day course offered in person by Permian Care to help people learn to identify signs and symptoms of mental health or substance use challenges. So that's a lot of words to say. It's to help us be more aware and alert if there's somebody in our lives that may need a little bit more help dealing with life and the things that have happened, whether it's a traumatic experience or kind of coming back around after COVID, or anything really that's kind of gotten them off course.
Yeah, it's kind of thrown you off, and it's all about the recovery of that and trying to address that situation. And so joining us now to talk more about this is a very good friend of yours also, Dahlia Ramirez with Permian Care. Dahlia, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us about this very important topic.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Just like she said, mental health first aid, such an important thing that not many of us know about. So if you want to kind of add on to that, what is mental health first aid, and what do you do in regards to training?
Absolutely. So like Chandra mentioned, a lot of it has to do with just the fact of, hey, it's okay to not be okay. And it's usually the people around us that recognize that we need help. So we just kind of, help build those tools and resources for these individuals to learn, what does it look like for that individual? How are they struggling? How would you recognize it? Whether it's an adult or a youth. And then what can you do about it? How do you approach them? How do you have that conversation? And then the most important thing is, what local resource can you connect them to? Chandra mentioned that, we do it for Permian Care, but we do cover 8 different counties. So we go all the way to Presidio, Texas, to be able to provide this training. And the great thing about mental health first aid is we have so many different modules to be able to fit the community needs. So we have an adult version, so it's adults who help other adults. The youth version, which is adults who help youth or adolescents. We have a veteran version, so anyone who works with the veteran community. We have a law enforcement, public safety version, a fire and EMS version, and a higher education version for our colleges and universities. So we just, we want to build our communities with just more knowledge, more tools and resources to help each other.
Yeah, having those tools always available. It's something it's been the theme of this entire week, is having tools in your toolbox to help not only those around you, but yourself as well. And Chandra, what is that like to have those kind of tools in your toolbox, knowing you have all this knowledge, at your fingertips, essentially?
It's incredible. There's no better feeling than to know that I can help a wide variety of people, regardless of what issue they might be facing. And I think one of my favorite parts of my job is that I get to teach other people how to help their loved ones. Dahlia and I teach all over the place. Like she said, we cover 8 counties. We had a class last week. We have another class next week, just making sure that as many people in our communities are aware of what to do, what to say. I think everybody, if we're honest, could probably say we've come upon a situation we couldn't deal with alone. And knowing that there was help available, it's just reassuring, right? You don't have to face it by yourself. But on the flip side, I think knowing that when somebody I care about is having their own issue, there are people out there who are trained and ready, willing, and able, right? That's my favorite 3 words. Ready, willing, and able to talk them through the situation, get them connected to the right level of care, and then not just leave them, right? But we talk about in training the importance of remaining connected to that person after their mental health challenge or crisis situation, so that they don't feel left out or abandoned once we've gotten them connected. So just some really important tools that we give.
Absolutely. It's good to have. And of course, Permian Care is one of those places where you can go to get those tools. So For anyone who may be interested in learning about mental health first aid, which I think most everyone really should be kind of interested in kind of this topic, it's been something we don't really talk about or address as much as we should. That's why we're kind of doing this segment, is to bring it to the forefront of people's awareness and, to understand what exactly this is. Where can they go and reach out to try and kind of start that first step of learning this mental health first aid to kind of keep in their toolbox?
Absolutely. So a lot of our trainings are posted on Facebook at Permian Care, or you can go to our website, www.permiacare.org, or you can just email me directly at daliaramirez@permiacare.org. We continue to have trainings, at least once a month. Usually it might change the version of it, to fit the community needs. But we actually also partnered up with ECISD. So ECISD Guidance and Counseling Department is also providing these trainings. They're helping us assist to be able to train Odessa specifically and the school staff. So we're just providing all these trainings for the community. And like Chandra mentioned, it is an all-day training, but it's very interactive. We're able to, different discussions and activities to help people learn. And then we provide everything you need, including lunch.
Wonderful to have that kind of resource available to us in that, this kind of topic. And Chandra, you've been, obviously, of course, you've been a part of these trainings. So was it an eye-opening experience to be able to kind of see what resources you have now available to you to be able to have this mental health first aid, on the top of mind and part of your toolbox?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that we give out when we teach is a resource guide for all local resources. And it's not just phone numbers, there are websites, but there's also just information like coping skills and things like that Dahlia keeps up to date. And so we get to give people tools that they take with them, like paper tools. It's great to teach them and give them words to say, but they have actual concrete resources that they can share. And so knowing how many resources are actually available, I think a lot of people come to these classes feeling a little bit like we're left out in the Permian Basin. We don't feel like we have enough help available. And I think one of the greatest gifts that we give them as part of this, free lunch is great, right? Don't get me wrong. And we try to incorporate humor. We talk about serious topics, but I think one of the best things is that they're going to leave with knowledge about where locally they can get connected and plugged in and get loved ones connected.
Yeah, and so I'd like to hear from both of you regarding this. So in our community, pretty much anywhere you go, that stigma is still there. We're going to talk more about this in our next day's topic, but for those hesitant in taking that first step towards getting training, maybe getting assistance with anything from Permian Care, from the Family Resiliency Center, from both of your perspectives, and we can start with Dahlia on this. Is what would you tell someone who's hesitant in getting this kind of mental health first aid training? Maybe they're thinking they might not need it. What would you say to them?
Well, the first thing is we like to say that it's okay to not be okay. But the thing is, we don't want to leave you there. We want to be able to get you into that recovery process. And the great thing about this training is we talk about that hope for recovery and what that can look like for these individuals. And the biggest thing is we also talk about stigma. And we kind of debunk that myth that, individuals struggling with any mental health or substance use challenges, that they're weak, because they're not. And the great thing that this training will teach you is that the same type of physical disabilities that physical illnesses have can cause the same disability for mental health. So you will see that they very correlate so much together. And the great thing is it teaches you to just treat them the same, and to see that people that are struggling deserve help and they can get better.
Yeah, exactly. There is always a way to kind of come to a solution. And Chandra, as well, from your perspective as well, for those hesitant, it is a good tool to have. You have been a part of these trainings and you know what it's like to see the other side of it. Once you kind of get that perspective for you, it is worth it.
100%. You're going to get from the training what you put in. So like Dahlia said, it's interactive, it's participatory. We don't just sit there and talk for 8 hours. Although between the two of us, we probably could. No, she's shaking her head at me. We don't just sit there and talk. We want people to participate and learn. We tell them you're going to get out what you put in. And so it is worth it. It's worth taking the time to learn about these things. We all have somebody in our lives who has struggled, right? And so just even if it's just knowing for yourself, maybe you're scared to go to a counselor. Maybe you're afraid of taking that very first step. When you learn the things that we teach in mental health first aid, how to recognize signs and symptoms, we're not teaching anybody how to diagnose. But that's another thing. If you get online and you start putting in signs and symptoms, you might come away afraid that something serious is going on, when in reality, you just need a little bit extra support. And so even if that's why you come to the class, it's just to make sure that you are okay and to find out what is available for you. It's a safe place to do that. It's a comfortable place to do that. And, like Dahlia said, you get lunch. So
on top of that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a good resource to have. Such an important thing that not a lot of folks know about, and I think more and more people are going to know about, especially regarding this. So to be able to get that out there is a very important mental health first aid. And just to reiterate from both of you, where can we go for those interested in mental health first aid?
So again, you can go to www.permiacare.org. My email address is also on there, which is just daliaramirez@permiacare.org. or our Facebook page. I know Chandra also shares trainings that we do at the Family Resiliency Center on their Facebook. So if you just look us up on social media and follow us, you will see all those updates.
And of course, Chandra, you're also available for any kind of resource that people need as well.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yep. Our Facebook page is always the best way to stay connected with the FRC, to find out what events are coming, whether it's a training or an art workshop. And my staff do an incredible job keeping that page updated so that I can focus on other things. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you both for talking about this very important topic, mental health first aid, something that a lot of people should know about, and hopefully more and more will. So thank you, Chandra Wigginton with the Family Resiliency Center of the Permian Basin, as always, as we had her all week long. She's great. And also Dahlia Ramirez with Permiacare. Dahlia, thank you for your time today on this topic.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Dahlia. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you all for streaming with us. Very important topic we talked about. One of many from this entire week that we've touched on this Mental Health Awareness Month, segment. It's been an entire week of this. We have still one more day to go. Another important topic tomorrow. I'll tell you what it is. Stopping the stigma. Definitely one of the biggest ones that a lot of people, talk about. It's a big discussion right now on social media, in media in general. And so we want to kind of harp on that. Stopping the stigma regarding mental health. CBS7 proud to be able to bring you this initiative. And it's something that we want you to have and hold throughout the entire year, is mental health wellness for yourself and also for those around you. Thank you so much for streaming with us here on CBS7 First Alert Digital News Desk, online on our website, CBS7.com, and our First Alert News app. Again, make it a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for another great segment. Thank you.